Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda. All the side framing is done now, but I'm going to do the fittings for the gutters. I've just completed the right hand side framing, so everything's boxed in. The bars are all solidly boxed in now, but we need to create the right conditions to have rainwater fall off that roof and land in a gutter. So that's always when you're doing these polytunnels, that's been a bugbear for people, how you actually collect the rainwater from them. Well, here's the way that we're doing it. So if you see these side frames, okay, that's nice and thick and robust, and it's a bit Heath Robinson, but we're going to build it out even further. Now I've got these things, they're called handy battens, and they're sort of like the metric 2x1, which is smaller than the Imperial 2x1. So they're sort of like 50 millimeters by 25 millimeters, but they don't even look 25 millimeters to me, then they look about 20. But suffice it to say, I'm going to put a double layer of those, two of those on the top of this sidebar that's going across there. So it's going to be built out about that far. And because it's going to be built out about that far, when we attach the when we staple on the poly sheet into it, we're going to staple it on underneath, so that when the rain comes off, it'll drip off. So it'll be built out and the rain will drip off then, hopefully, into the gutter that we're going to be putting on underneath that. And then we're going to be using these butts, these small butts, one on each side, to collect our water. That is the idea, or maybe even one that's bigger than that. I might cut down a couple of those. I've got 3 spare ones of those big butts there, but I might cut them down so that they're just underneath. They just sit underneath where the gutters are going to fall at the back there. I'm going to put them at the back there, and that way we'll be collecting water. We'll be harvesting the rainwater, which is what you want. Oh dear, the weather conditions could be better. Okay, so from this plank, I've come out 3 of the handy battens. Now, if you notice there's 2, and then there's one that's lower, and it's only about 8 millimeters lower than the other one. But the idea behind that is that the sheeting will come across over here, go and be tucked under there, and because that's lower, when it's affixed underneath there, a drip will form, so it'll come over and it'll drip off. It won't go back underneath there, it'll drip here into the gutter. That is the plan. Now, once the poly's on and it's stapled, I'll also be putting a just bear with us a second. I'll also be fixing it underneath like that at the back. I'll need to fix it underneath at the back, so I'll put that in, and that'll give extra strength and stability, so it's not just relying on the staples. That'll be I'll be fixing it in as well. That'll be screwed on, but I'm going to have to extend that and get that lower so that we can actually fit the gutter on. So that's going to have to come down, probably about a 3x1 down there, all the way across underneath, so that we can get the gutter in. It is Heath Robinson that, but it'll work. It'll definitely work. So I'm going to do that on this side as well, and then I think I'm going to call it a day, because I think that's enough for today. We're getting the sheeting down. It'll be next weekend when we actually sheet this up, but I'm going to get everything wood-wise completely spot on before next weekend, so that all that we're left to do really is sheet it and put the polycarbonate in. The polycarbonate windows, these, are going to be going in here. Okay, so again, there'll be more framing to be done there between the base plate and the mid plate going across. But yeah, It's still gonna come in at, it's gonna come in at less than 300 quid, but it'll look magnificent when it's done. This, it'll look absolutely brilliant, and the lady farmer will be wreathed in smiles, because this is the lady farmer's side, and this is who I'm doing it for. So yeah, job will be a good one. Okay, boys and girls, now both gutter sides are in. As you can see, the last 2x1 a little bit lower than the preceding two, and therefore you'll get the drip off. Once the sheeting's on, you'll get that drip off into the gutter. I'm going to get that down about another 3 or 4 inches, so we kind of fix that gutter, because we'll need the drop off, we'll need the fall for the water. Sorry about the wind, it's picking up now, the wind. Now Mick's gone home. He was dying for wind before, it's picking up now. Anyway, so that'll be falling off towards that back end. The windows are going to come in around here, and they'll be lifters in the same way that these are, but they'll be set back, and so you'll not get as much of this rusting going on, because it'll be tucked underneath the gutter. So the water will be, you know, the rainwater will be away from them, so that'll be better. They'll be sunken in a little bit. All in all, this is going to be better than Tiki Tunnel 1. So yeah, it's going to stand me at around about £300 in the end, but when you think about that, you can be paying 300 quid for the tatty shed, you know what I mean? And this is going to be much more of a structure, more practical. It's going to be, let me get inside, it's getting a bit too bad. It's not going to be your standard shop-bought polytunnel, is it? It's going to be something different. It's going to be a real structure, this. A real Yankee workshop job. And that's what I want for the lady farmer. I want it to be a good one. And it will. So, that's the whole idea. We are going a little bit Heath Robinson on it. It's going a little bit overboard. It'll be as solid as a rock, though. It'll be bomb-proof, this. And I'll be happy with it. And that's the main thing. When you've got a good hobby, that's a productive hobby, and you're growing organic vegetables, a little bit of expense ain't too bad, is it? Plus, as I say, I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be, I would say, 1,200 quid's worth if you were going to get somebody to build it for you. And we're going to get that for a fraction of that. We're going to get that for a quarter of the price. I'm thinking, even with the flat, I mean, we're recycling the paving slabs that are going into there. For the beds inside there, we're going to be recycling the old beds, tarting them up, giving them a wood treatment again. Everything's going to be painted up before the sheeting comes on. So we're going to weatherproof, or at least sort of like wood preserve everything before the sheeting goes on. And you'll get 20 years out of that, at least. I'm thinking 20 years at least. You might need to resheet it, but the resheeting, that's not going to be too drastic of a problem, because it's only going to be fixed around the edges with the staples. So I'll take off that, when I fix it underneath with the other 2x1, it's just a matter of taking that other 2x1 off, yeah, and then resheeting it. So it'll cost us another £70 or whatever in 10 years' time. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's coming along nice, and I hope you're all enjoying it too. Obviously, you can do a scaled down version of that. You don't have to have the gutters running down and collecting your water from the roof of it. You don't have to have all the sort of structural strength and support that that's got. But we're building something to last. I like things to be robust enough and good enough in many ways, just good enough really, to last the test of time. And we want 20 years out of that, you know what I mean? I want 20 years at least out of that. The same with this, and I think we'll get it. I think we'll get it, especially because we're preventing any external water ingress going into it by having the gutters, and the fact that the gutters are going to be sort of 4 or 5 inches away from the actual further timbers on the inside of it, that for me tells me that we're not going to be getting that sort of leakage coming in. The windows are going to be tucked underneath the gutter. They're not going to be, you know, the water's not going to be able to get underneath the gap. I'm convincing myself that it was worthwhile spending about another £100 on more wood. Whether the lady farmer will be convinced of that's a different matter, but I'm certain that it's, I don't know. I like it to look good. I like it to be robust. I want it to be able to stand whatever the weather throws at it. That's well anchored into the ground now. I'm going to put even more of those staves in the ground to make sure it's rock solid. The base again is going to be built out a little bit further. We're going to get the windows in and all of that. It'll look great. I think it'll look fantastic when it's done. But who am I? All right, have a great week. I'll be back on tomorrow doing further bits and pieces on this, but if it's really bad weather like it is today, what I might do is get these planted up, because they're desperate for being planted up now into the pots. And we may well do like a garden tour. May well do a December 2020 plot tour. If it's really bad weather, if it's bad weather. If it's really, really bad weather, you'll not be seeing me, but hopefully you will. All right, boys and girls, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, we love you all. Keep growing with head down, keep building with your heads down. Do whatever you need to do to get you through the day, and it's all for the power of the plants. Keep positive. All right, the pandemic is nearly over, so happy days. Hopefully we'll get back to something like normal. I want to get back to normal. I don't like this new normal stuff. I want to get back to the way that it was, but we'll see what happens at the end of this, eh? All right, take care of yourselves, as I say. Bye-bye. Catch you later.